What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Saturday, and you guys know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Noisette, and I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and hanging out with your boy today. It is it's going to be a shorter live stream than normal, but we are still going to have fun. We have got to talk about who the hell is Tilly Norwood. People have been hounding me to watch the Demon Slayer movie. I have finally seen it. Okay, I have seen it, so I will give my thoughts on that. And then, of course, I know I talked about we were going to cover Peacemaker, but I had no idea I was going to get bombarded with all this extra work and other projects and stuff. So, at the very least, I will talk about Peacemaker season 2 at the end. So this is it. I am going to go into some spoilers with it, so I'm saving that for last. So if you haven't watched Peacemaker or whatnot, I am going to give my thoughts on it. This is your pre-spoiler alert, so we will talk about that because there's a lot. I got a lot of thoughts on Peacemaker, so we will get into that. But yeah, like I said, today is going to be a little bit shorter, just because I do have some. I got some stuff. I got some stuff cooking for y'all. It is I got some work, I got some projects, so I need y'all to stay tuned to the channel. You'll see some things get posted, but I got to go do the work first. So I will be busy with that. So I got to get in and out. But because there are not a lot of topics, if you guys have a couple other topics that maybe you want to talk about a little later, feel free to submit those. And if we got time, we can go over those as well. But first, let's go ahead and see who has made it out and give some shout outs. Carl, what is up? Good to see you. Thank you so much. Got aloha. Appreciate you coming through. My man King Chad is here. Thank you so much. Yes, so far I am having a good day. Thank you so much. Decks of Reason. What? Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with you on that. Not yet. Not yet. 60 plus. Good to see you. Jesus. Appreciate you coming through. Rachel, hello. Famous Jay, appreciate you coming through. My man Mitch is here. Good to see you. Trees, first of all, Trees, I didn't put two and two together if you were Patrice so if you were Patrice that hooked me up last time, thank you. Thank you. If that was you that hooked me up on the birthday tip, then thank you so much. Because I was like, reading the comments after, and I was like, wait, Treese, Patrice, and there's an M. So if that was you, first of all, I'm sorry if I put your whole government name out there. But if that was you, ma'am, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. Yes. Okay. Yes, it was you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you once again for that wonderful blessing. Actually, I should say the kids appreciate you. So they thank you as well. But thank you very, very much. Tracy, appreciate you coming through. Thank you. Let's see. Sam K, what is up? Good to see you. My man Eugene is back. Appreciate you as well. Corey is here. Good to see you. Amanda, thank you for coming back. We got the homie Deborah here. Appreciate you. Stamina. Hey, man. We got to talk about your peoples, man. From across the pond, we're going to have to talk about your peoples a little later, but I'm glad you're here. Jay, good to see you. My man Jason is back. Appreciate you coming through. Christy, good to see you. Who else? There we go. Gothic Chick, appreciate you coming through. Shy, hello. Kyle, good to see you. Miss Lady, how are you? Tasha, appreciate you coming through. Callow, good to see you. Kristen, did I say hi to you? Did I say yes? Kristen, what's up? Good to see you. I want to make sure I ain't miss nobody. Let's see. My man DJ is here. Mr. Leo, appreciate you coming through. What's going on, Taz? Appreciate you coming through, sir. Who else did I see? Quiet Riot, appreciate you also. Come on, we got the homie Kiki West. 1, 2, 3, Jam. Appreciate you coming through. Black Action Figure, my man Nelson V. I love it when the vets come together. All you doing the replay gang, all good. My man Lewis here. William, what is up? It has been a while, but that's all right. Just Zia, appreciate you. My man Kyle is here. Paulette is here. Phil Roy, and shout out to everyone that has made it out. Hold on. T-ville as well, and on my square. Yes, appreciate y'all so much. Hold on, did I see? Yo, wait a minute. Hold on, I saw birthday. Let's see. Celebrating my 49th birthday in 30 years in the United States Navy. First and foremost, happy birthday and thank you. Not just thank you, but I appreciate your service, and I appreciate the service of everyone that is willing to put their life on the line to protect this country, because that is something I don't have the guts to do. So when I say thank you, I really do mean it. So appreciate you for your service, and happy birthday as well. All right, let's go. Let's see. Rachel, I'm gonna save that for the Peacemaker segment. Dude, Tracy, what you got? Hey, fam, if you live in Chicago, Portland, be safe. They are raiding apartments, homes, harassed by my niece leaving her school. So she's so scared. Is this America? Unfortunately, it is America. I actually had some people reaching out because they were like, yo, E-Man, are you good? And I'm like, luckily for me, I am okay. I used to live closer in the city. Now I don't, even though I still work there. But it's a shame. It's a real shame that in our lifetime we have to even compare our country to damn near a third world authoritarian country. Like the way our country is being run feels like the stuff I used to read in history books about other countries. And what's crazy is the fact that people are normalizing it and whitewashing it as if like this is okay. But, man, don't let me get a political channel. Don't let me get into it, because it is a problem. Okay. I'll just say this. I will just say this. It's not okay to feel comfortable with the exploitation and or harassment of fellow citizens or legal citizens or just humans, all for the sake of getting a W for your political team. That's messed up, right? Like, we are not in elementary school anymore. Politics is not just like a sports team where like, yeah, the right one or yeah, the left one. No, like that's not okay. That's not okay. So I need people to kind of get back to the concept of having empathy for humans and fellow citizens, and also maybe respecting the Constitution along the way. The whole partisan stuff, it's getting out of control. It's out of control. It's ridiculous. And we are becoming what this country has not wanted to be all this time. Like, no matter the ills of this country, no matter the things and flaws that it's always had a dream of trying to be better. And we're no longer following that dream. We are no longer getting to the point where we want to strive to be. We are becoming something very different, radically different, and that's not okay. So I do think that people need to pay attention. People need to be serious about this. Politics affects everyone's lives. And don't wait for it to happen to you or for it to happen to someone that you know, because that's kind of the biggest problem we have. We wait until politics gets in our proximity and then we care. But if you wait that long, it's already too late. It's already too late. So anyway, please pay attention and be safe out there for sure. Hold on one second, guys. All right. So thank you so much. And yes, I hope everybody else is out there being safe and taking care of themselves. Oh man, JN. furloughed, but in these times, we got to continue to support amazing content in the Nerd Blur community. And Hot Honey and Old Bay on a chicken club is the move. Trust me. First of all, where did you get this? Where did you get Hot Honey and Old Bay on chicken? Where is this, sir? Sir, that sounds delicious. Oh my God, just made my mouth water a little bit with that. That's a wicked combination. But let me just say, I am very sorry that you're being furloughed. Unfortunately, once again, politics is real life. People's jobs are on the line because people want to play games. They want to play political games, and that's not okay. Play your games when it don't affect nobody, right? I do all that stuff in the Senate chamber, in the House, do that. But do not do that mess when it affects actual people's lives. But yeah, thank you so much. And sir, we do need the location and the details of this Hot Honey Old Bay, because oh my God, that don't make me go looking for this. Don't make me go looking for this. All right, let's get into some quick updates. Just a couple of random things in the movie world. And you guys can let me know your thoughts on it as we go. First and foremost, this has got to be one of my favorite little mini franchises that has come out, especially from one of my favorite directors, Quentin Tarantino. So for all of you Kill Bill fans out there, you should be happy about this. Maybe Tarantino's Kill Bill movies will be released in theaters as one complete movie on December 5th. It will also include a never-before-seen 7-minute animated sequence, and select presentations will be 70 or 35 millimeter. That sounds like a lot of work. I mean, both of the movies, that's a long time to be in the theaters. I'm just saying, that's a good. How long are these movies? Like 2.5 hours, something like that. Yikes! But those are some good movies too. And I'm still mad that he didn't want to make like another volume, because you still had, everybody has been saying, why don't you just get Zendaya to play, the little girl that grows up and she comes after Uma Thurman's character? Like, come on, don't leave us hanging. But that does sound like a good time. Listen, if I was a little bit younger, okay, back in my college days, that feels like something I would sign up for and be all right with. But I ain't got the energy. I don't have the time. But that does sound like a good time one way or another. Moving on, we have an update for a movie you guys have been highly anticipating. You guys cannot stop talking about this. I mean, the streets have been asking for this, and so have the deeps of the oceans, because Jerry Bruckheimer, producer, says that Margot Robbie is still involved in the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie. My only question is why? Why are y'all trying to hold on to this Pirates of the Caribbean? Like, who is really looking for this? Who actually remembers these movies? I'm not saying they weren't a hit back then, because I watched the first two, I think the first three, and then it just got watered down after that. Like, no pun intended, but I know the whole Johnny Depp thing was becoming a problem, and he was kind of getting phased out. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, y'all still think this got heat? This is like a plate of food that's been out for like a week and a half. Throw it away. It was a delicious dish when it first was heated up, but now throw it away. Throw it away. Unless you can get Johnny Depp back. And I'm saying even that's a stretch, because I don't know if Johnny Depp still got it for this franchise. But if you are going to do something with Pirates of the Caribbean, I feel like Johnny Depp is like the only way you can go. trying to reboot it. I don't care if it's Margot Robbie. I don't care if y'all throw Glenn Powell in there. Matter of fact, I don't care if y'all throw Pedro Pascal in there because y'all throw him in everything. I don't see this working. I just don't. I don't know. But anyway, let me know if y'all are in for this, if y'all care about this. Maybe you guys see something I don't. I can't see the interest. But y'all let me know. Next up, we got a movie. Now, this is interesting because I remember when this movie first came out and I was with it. But now we got a sequel, and that is for The Simpsons movie 2. And that's releasing 20 years after the first film. This is going to come out July 23rd, 2027. Here's my issue. When I tell you I was an avid fan of The Simpsons, I loved The Simpsons. And I'm saying that in the past tense because I haven't watched an episode of The Simpsons probably for 10 years. It might be longer than that. I think it might be 20 years. That's a long time. What I think they are on season 58 or something. Like The Simpsons are still going. I ain't gonna lie. I did start to drift a little bit towards Family Guy. And then I was, I haven't watched nothing in the Simpsons world. The closest I got, maybe this is a spoiler for some people. The closest I got was the news headline, and this is when you know it was significant, is when they killed off a major character. Okay, I won't spoil it, but they killed off a major character in The Simpsons, and I was like, I really don't want to go back now. I can't. I don't see why. Like, first of all, why would y'all do that? Why would y'all get rid of one of the pillar characters in the franchise? But so it's just, I don't know if I could sit here and watch the sequel because I think a lot of it depended on my viewership of the TV show. Not to say that you got to watch every single thing, but there are certain things in the TV show that carry on into the movie. So, I don't know. 37 seasons? My God, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But y'all let me know. Is The Simpsons sequel movie, is that something you're interested in? Is that something you would want to go see? I don't know. I feel like I've aged out of it. Not because it's for kids or nothing like that. I just feel like it's been so long. I haven't watched for so long. I just don't know if I could watch this anymore. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Oh, now here has been, listen, some of y'all are still blowing up my comments over this movie. And I feel like that's kind of been part of the whole MO. Because him releases on digital platforms October 7th. So in 3 days. It's only been out for 18 days. Only 18. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 31. It made a whopping 22 million on a budget of 27 million. That, my friends, are what we call that is a flop. That is a flop. Like, this is Flash levels flop. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because, again, if you saw my review, I thought Marlon was amazing. I thought he did a great job. But maybe, just maybe, people don't want to watch a whole movie about satanic stuff. Maybe. Yikes. I didn't think. I actually thought that the controversy behind it, the mixed reactions, I thought that was going to get people in the theaters. Apparently not. Apparently, people did not care. And they were not checking for this either way. But I have a feeling this might do well on iTunes. It might do well on streaming. But the fact that people didn't want to have to pay to go see it, I could see why. So, dang, that's messed up. It's messed up. It's definitely an artistic movie, but art can be divisive. Art can be divisive. Next up. Now, we talked about this. We talked about how there's going to be a new Rocky biopic documentary. I showed you guys the actor who looked damn near just like Sly Stallone as a kid, as a younger guy. But we have now, I mean, if you're going to have a Rocky movie, and if you're going to have someone play Sly Stallone, you're going to have an Apollo in a Rocky movie, right? And rest in peace to Carl Weathers. But it looks like we have found our Carl Weathers actor, and it is none other than Stephen James. He has been cast to play Carl Weathers in I Play Rocky. And again, this is the film that follows a young Sylvester Stallone on the dramatic journey it took to get the Rocky movie made. So, I mean, listen, I like Stephen James. I think my main question here is just going to be like, all right, bro, when you going to hit the gym? Because we see Carl Weathers. We remember Carl Weathers. Okay. We remember Carl Weathers during Predator, right? Y'all remember when he locked up with Arnold and all you saw was the gun show? Y'all remember that? Like, okay, Steven, I'm just saying, like, brother, you gonna have to you gonna have to get in the gym just a little, So, and I'm not saying he doesn't have to get super swole. Let me see. Okay, I pulled something up. He ain't like little, right? Okay, my man got he got a couple abs. Shoot, he got more abs than me. I'm just saying, you gonna, play Carl Weathers, just a couple extra days. That's all. Anyway, I'm happy for him. I'm glad he got this part. I'm sure he will do it justice. But yeah, just drink a couple protein shakes. Just a little something. It might open up some other roles for you too. You never know. All right, moving on. Reboot time. So, of course, this has been something that has been in rumored. So please feel free to take this with a grain of salt. But Glenn Powell and his black counterpart, Michael B. Jordan, are rumored to be in talks to star in the Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice remake. Now, would you look at that? And that's going to be in theaters August 6th, 2027. Boy, they are putting Glenn Powell in everything, just like they used to put Michael B. Jordan in everything. Like, yo, they not holding back. Now, here's my thing. 80s baby. I used to watch Miami Vice when it came on. I probably had no real business doing that and watching it, but I watched it, right, with Don Johnson and all. And it felt like something really capturing the essence of the 80s. And my only thing is, who is this for? because the people that grew up watching this, what are they about to be 50 and up? Are y'all about to make this about the 80s? And if you do, who cares? Like, who's really gonna care about an 80s cop show? And if you make it more modern, my other question is, who cares? Because we tried that already. Remember, it was Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. I don't think that movie did very well. So I'm just trying to understand, who are y'all making these movies for? Like, who told y'all we gotta do this again? We gotta go back to this well. Why? Why? There are so many different things if you had to redo and you had to remake. Why this? I'm saying, like, y'all could go back. Here's the thing. Okay, if we're going to do remakes and reboots, I feel like you should reboot or remake the stuff that might have been ahead of its time, but let's just say we didn't have the technology to make it look all that great. That's when I would like to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to even bring this example because it wasn't a good movie. God, what was it? Clash of the Titans, right? I remember watching Clash of the Titans back in the 80s, 90s, whatever it was, and they had to use claymation and all that stuff. And it looked, listen, as a kid, I liked it. But growing up and watching it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a product of the time. I'm like, listen, if you're going to redo something, redo the stuff that people did not have the technology for, right? And make that better. That's why I've always said Star Wars would be so dope if they would just update the technology to something a little more futuristic. Like, it was ahead of its time. Just keep going. Perfect example. Dune. Look at what Dune was ahead of its time for sci-fi back then. They redid it and it looks beautiful, right? So anyway, I don't know who's checking for Miami Vice, and that's no shade. I like the past show when it came out. I'm just saying we don't need this. I don't think we need. Oh, Crow! Thank you. Give me a Crow. I'll watch that. Yes. Matter of fact, not that you need. Nah, I was gonna say Princess Bride, but you really don't need to remake it. That it still works. Spawn. Oh, yes. But hold on, they trying to do Spawn. I already told you I have my reservations. They trying to have Jamie Foxx play it. I don't know. I did see that they just remade Red Sonja. Oh, that went straight to digital. Y'all didn't even know. Y'all didn't even know it came out, did y'all? Red Sonja. Didn't even know. See. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. Oh, they're doing Running Man. That might be okay. You know. What's the issue with Jamie Foxx? Oh, come on, man. I don't know if Jamie can give me the sense of terror from Spawn that a Michael Jai White could do. Michael Jai White had that voice. He had that demeanor, that presence, like he was going to mess you up. I don't see that or hear it. Jamie got a singer's voice. He got a smooth voice. It kind of reminds me of Terrence Howard a little bit. It's kind of like there's nothing Terrence Howard could ever say that would put fear in my heart. It's just the lack of bass. It's just there's nothing they can say, right? So to me, it just I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Not to say he can't do it. I'm sure he can. He's very talented, but wouldn't be my first pick. That's all. All right, let me move on. James Cameron, aka the GOAT, says that Avatar Fire and Ash is around 3 hours long. Says here, big surprise. The big swing in all of this is, do we make any money? We'll make some, but what kind of profit margin is there and how much to continue on in this universe? First of all, no one should be shocked. James Cameron makes long movies, and all these Avatar movies have been long too. They've all been long. The thing is, I'm no longer doubting James Cameron. We clowned him collectively. We clowned this man for years because of the whole, oh, I'm about to make Avatar 5011, right? But they've been nothing but hits. Every time this man drops something, it's a hit. Like it goes straight to the top of the box office. Now, I don't think that this is going to be a $2.3 billion movie, mainly because, and I think this is going to be interesting. I think what's going to be interesting about this, what's going to be interesting about Avengers, Doomsday and all that, this is going to be our new litmus test. This is going to be our new test to see what kind of market are we actually in when it comes to the box office. Because a lot of times people have been trying to equate, oh, well, this movie did this pre-COVID. Oh, but this movie did this now, so therefore the movies now suck. No. A lot of things after COVID, after the 2020s, everything has changed. The industry has changed. Audience has changed. Technology has changed. Everything has changed, right? What used to make $2.3 billion might be only 1.8 today. So I'm very curious to see what an Avatar movie, something that averages $2.3 billion, I'm curious to see what it'll do in today's market. And that will have to probably become our new test as for what's the ceiling for films at this point. And that's if it's actually good, right? Not to say that all the Avatar movies were like great. Everybody, I think, mostly agrees the stories aren't that deep, but man, those visuals. You're watching that movie and it's like, man, it feels like you're transported to a new world, which is the job of a movie. Anyway, next up, we have a new update for the Highlander movie. Last time we talked about how Dave Bautista was going to be in it, which is interesting. And the other wrestler, Drew McIntyre, he was also going to be in there as well, which I thought was a very spot on casting. But now we have the legend, Jeremy Irons, has been cast as a villain in Chad Stahelski's Highlander reboot. I like this. Now, I don't know what kind of villain he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to actually fight against Henry Cavill or not. But Jeremy Irons, I mean, this dude, over the years, this man has been one of the best, smoothest villains ever. Like, to this day. And it's crazy because out of all the great roles he's ever played, this man will forever be Scar to me from The Lion King. Like, he will forever, just his voice is ingrained in my mind as Scar. And it will just, that's the pinnacle for me. That is the pinnacle. So he don't have to do anything, right? He just has to talk. Anything he says, you're just going to be like, woo, bad man, just bad. So I like this casting. I don't know what he's going to do, but I trust Chad. I trust this production. I am looking forward to this. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't even see this whole cast. What? Henry Cavill, Dave Bautista, Drew McIntyre, Jamon Hansu is in there. You guys know my man can come through and definitely do a good supporting role. Kieran Gillian, Russell Crowe. Yo, y'all out here trying to make this movie an instant hit. I like this. Y'all hit me with a be prepared. Ooh, Mufasa. Man, I love that movie. Anyway, yes. I'm with this. I am with all of this. This cast looks amazing, sounds great. I'm with this. I can't wait for this. I cannot wait. I know Henry Cavill had injured himself last time we heard, but I believe he is on the mend. He is recovering nicely. So we'll wait and see. But I think that is going to be a good movie. Now, just to piggyback off of some of the news from last week, we talked about the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation. And we talked about how he got all those ratings and everything, being one of his most highly anticipated episodes and all that. But we also got some new data here, which is, y'all know that when that happened, there was a whole lot of backlash. Okay, because one time, ABC, Disney, they was like, the federal government might be coming for us, and the affiliates, they about to cancel us. But then you had on the other side the people, and the people was like, Disney Plus, reconcile. They was just waiting. People was waiting for a reason to cancel that Disney Plus. Okay, people was itching for a reason. And now we know how many. More than 1.7 million streaming subscriptions were canceled during Kimmel's suspension. The total includes subscriptions from Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. I need y'all to realize something. One of the most difficult things for any streaming platform to do is to gain subscriptions. It is the primary reason why you see a lot of movies go, just like him, go straight to streaming. Why? Because they want subscriptions. They need subscribers. So when y'all cancel on them, that hurts their soul. Why? Because they put so much money into recruiting and into getting new subscribers that for most of these companies, even Netflix, it took them almost a decade, if not more, just to see a profit. Just to see a profit. So think about this. Disney Plus, which came out just 5 years ago, half that amount of time, they've been struggling. They've been climbing. They've been doing their best to get to that level. And I remember they would be happy if they got 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers. You just lost 1.7 million in just 2-3 days? Y'all, that's like 3 years of work that you lost in 3 days. Yikes! What I love about this is that it was a clear demonstration of how democracy actually works. And we're not talking about voting in a booth. We're talking about voting with your dollars and voting with your power. These companies, every company for that matter, should always be deathly more afraid. Let me not say deathly, figuratively speaking. They should always be fearfully more afraid of us, the people, as customers than they should of any other government entity or any other external force. We make companies thrive. We make them have jobs in the first place. I don't care what your shareholders are saying. I don't care what your board members are saying. I don't care what the government's telling you. We make sure that you are alive as a company. So the fact that people were able to show that, yes, I love it. Because now they're going to think twice. Now they're going to sit here and be like, can we just fire that person? Not if you want to lose another 1 million subscribers. And let me tell you something. Can we have an honest moment real quick? Just real quick. I feel as though, and this could just be me, I feel like if Jimmy Kimmel had been a Netflix show and Netflix was like, yeah, we're going to fire you, we're going to cancel you, whatever, I don't think you would see the same number of cancellations. I feel like people will be like, oh man, that's a violation of free speech. Man, that's messed up. Man, that's crazy. Huh? Cancel Netflix? Hey man, Jimmy gonna be cool, right? Like, I'm just saying, I still got Love Is Blind to watch. I mean, Stranger Things about to come on. Like, I still ain't catch up on Squid Games yet. Like, hey Jimmy, keep the power, man. Keep the power. Let me go ahead and watch this other episode that I missed. I don't think so. I'm just saying, Disney, had y'all had better content, people probably wouldn't be so quick to cancel all y'all like that. So anyway, y'all let me know how you feel about the fact that the people have a lot of power. They have a lot of power, and don't ever forget about it. Don't ever forget about it. Sorry, I don't even want to bring the mood down, but it's movie related. Right after that, Donald Trump, the president, has brought back the idea of imposing a 100% tariff on any and all movies that are made outside of the United States. Hell no, I'm not reading his whole quote. Says here, our movie making business has been stolen from the United States of America by other countries, just like stealing candy from a baby. Blah, blah, blah. Not gonna rehash this. The entire industry has pushed back against this. Tariffs. I'm sorry. Let me be more precise. Mass tariffs don't work. Random tariffs don't work. You save tariffs for things like imposing sanctions on other countries. If you're trying to like send a message and say like, hey, we don't like the way you're treating other humans over there, we're going to put a tariff on you. Stuff like that, right? As many economists would say, tariffs are best used as a scalpel, not as a hammer. And just trying to randomly put this on movie studios, what I don't like about this, and this is something that we will get into a little later, don't make it harder for these studios to find lower prices, because they will cut corners. And we know this. We know studios are going to have lower budgets. They want more overhead. They want more profit. So that's one of the reasons why they will go film somewhere else. But if you're going to make it more expensive, because the companies are going to actually feel that burden of the tariff more, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You'll see them do stuff like, turn to AI. You'll see them do stuff like, completely just circumventing locations where things don't feel as real anymore. Like, it's not going to be a good thing. I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of what they wanted to put out there. They got two more updates here for you guys. We have, oh boy, Mark Ruffalo, aka the Hulk. I don't know who asked him this, and I don't know why y'all would do this, but this man was asked about the latest Superman, and he said here that the Hulk would win in a fight with Superman. All right. First of all, let's clear a couple things up. If we're talking about the comic book version of Hulk, I think you could have a really good point, because the comic book versions of Hulk have gone through some crazy transformations. Absolutely. But Mr. Ruffalo, if you talking about your Hulk, I need you to sit this one out. I need you to go back wherever you got them tacos in, Infinity War Endgame. Go back and grab them tacos. Sir, you couldn't even beat up Thanos. Thanos put you down with a 2-piece combo and a thick biscuit with no drink. Who you finna beat up? Who? Where? How? Where? How? With the way Marvel's been failing the Hulk, how would you beat up this Superman? And here's the crazy thing. This ain't even the most savage Superman we've ever seen. Right? Now, if you told me Henry Cavill Superman, okay, yeah, like, man, that's going to be a nice fight. Hulk is still going to lose. But we talking about, like, some would say, a weaker Superman. What is Hulk finna do? Run away again? Nah, bro. Sit this one out, man. Sit this one out. This ain't, you don't, no, not even close. Now, listen, if there are plans for a Savage Hulk or something like that, let us know that. Let us know that. But right now, as it stands from what we've seen, nah. The only MCU Hulk that has a chance against Superman would have to be the one from Marvel Zombies. That's literally the only version of any Hulk we've ever seen that could have a chance. That's it. So yeah, I no, sir, no, please, just stop. Please, sir, just stop. All right, last one. We'll keep it on the MCU here. The Russo brothers, they're back once again. They did this last time. They shared an image from their Avengers Doomsday set, and they said, "Look hard." Do y'all remember when they did this? The last time they did this, it was right after Infinity War. There was all this hype. There was all this excitement. And remember, we did not know what Avengers 4 was going to be called. We called it Avengers 4. We had no idea. Everybody was guessing. What's the name of the next movie? What is it? And in that video, in that image, they said Avengers 4, like you could see it in the image and it spelled out Endgame, right? You had the Reddit detectives doing all this work and it said Endgame. Here's my thing. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what this is. I don't care what y'all trying to hint at. We are gone. That era, that time of sitting here and getting super excited and looking for the details and trying to figure out whatever. I don't care. Put the fries in the bag, sir. I don't care. I don't need to know what your menu is. I don't need to know what your specials of the day are. Just give me the movie. Just give me the movie. Okay, just give me Doomsday. It's already coming off as cheesy and desperate, taking Robert Downey and making him Doom and skipping over Kang. And you already are on thin ice with the public trust. We don't have time for these games. Have y'all ever gone to a restaurant and you hungry? You've been starving. There was a long line and you finally sit down and the waitress want to come out there and play some games with you. They want to get to know you. They want to share their life story. Ma'am, go put my order in. Please. Respectfully, of course. Go put my order in. I don't need this. The longer you take, it's the longer I'm not getting my food. I don't care. I'm not looking hard at none of this. I've already seen people making videos. For what? For what? What are you going to tell me in this image that's going to make me be more excited to see this movie that it's already got yellow flags? I don't care. Now, if y'all care, that's fine. I'm just letting y'all know I don't care. Don't ask me about this. I'm not about to do no detective work on it. No. Who's sitting in the chair? I believe that's actually one of the directors. I think that's Joe Russo, if I'm not mistaken. But then again, I don't care. Whatever. Is that RDJ? Okay. Well, all right. Whatever. Anywho, that's it for the quick updates. Let me go back. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. JN, make or order a sandwich from any good sandwich spot with no sauce, Mix the hot honey Old Bay Tonys in a bowl, mix, drizzle handsomely, and then enjoy. I got to do this myself. Sir, it's not what I was advertised. I don't want to do this myself. I want to sit. I want somebody to make it for me. Nobody got this pre-made. No, I can't. By the way, JM, shout out to you, brother. It came. Yes, we have it. It has arrived. Okay, it has arrived. I have it. I have it. He is going right up here with the other blade, right there. And maybe one day, Mahershala will actually be featured as well. Maybe. But I got it. Thank you, brother. I remember you sent the chat for it, so I went and got it right after. Thank you so much. Let's see, my man, Just My Opinion Reviews. Y'all make sure to go subscribe. This version of Kill Bill will have the crazy 88 fight in color this time. In the original Kill Bill volume, that's scene was cut to black and white. Interesting. Okay. That's not. Listen, I still don't have 5 hours to watch a movie, but I like where they're going with that. Thank you for that information. JN, Jordan Peele got to get back in the lab. Listen, I remember Jordan Peele was trying to get his hands on weapons. He tried. Now, if Jordan Peele had gotten weapons, it'd be a whole different narrative, whole different story. But yes, he does need to get a little bit more selective. But you know what? I'm gonna give him props. He took a chance. You never know if certain things are gonna work. I mean, I can understand the appeal. I can understand, hey, we got Marlon Wayans, we got a great concept, great cinematography. I get that. He took a swing. So I'm gonna give him points for at least doing that. I'm gonna give him points for that. Anthony, if Black Adam can go number 1 on iTunes and Madam Web can go number 1 on Netflix, there is hope for him. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Like, the point is, I think a lot of people were on the fence about watching him, so they probably are like, man, I'll wait till it streams. And yeah, don't be surprised if a lot of people stream it and all of a sudden, you know, the studios are like, oh, the number 1 movie streamed in America, him. You know, like, just wouldn't surprise me at all. Again, that's not a great sign. I remember even Ryan Coogler said something like that. He was like, hey, Wakanda Forever, it was like number 1 stream. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's good for Disney, but that means again, that to me means people didn't want to come pay to see the movie. That's what that tells me. But let's see, JN, Quiet as Kept, Fox and Colin Farrell remake was good. Was it? Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. I think I started watching it and I fell asleep, and it never appealed to me. It just didn't. For Miami Vice. DJ, I used to watch Miami Vice as a kid. I'm 54 now. No one is asking for this, at least not for me anyway. Hard pass, yo. Now, if you don't want to see this, come on. Like, I don't know. Like I said, who is this for? Like, who is this for? I don't know. Let's see. Can we talk about what happens if the Marvel movie flops? What will become of the MCU? Now, which Marvel movie are you referring to? Are you referring to Doomsday or Endgame? I'll just kind of speculate on either one of those. I think we would have to consider what exactly. First of all, we have to consider what a flop is, right? Like him, the budget was 27 and they only made 22. That's a flop, right? If Doomsday comes out and let's say it makes 1.8 billion, but the other Avengers movies made 2-something billion, that's not a flop, right? Because I already said the entire industry and people and technology, everything has shifted. So we have to kind of grade it on a scale. I think if now, okay, if Avengers, Doomsday, or Secret Wars, if they make like 900 million and that's it, I think that might be flop-ish territory. That might be flop-ish. I don't think that that will happen though, only because any Avengers movie has a lot of cachet with general audiences. Like I talk to random people who are not movie buffs or whatever, and I just ask them like, "Would you watch another Avengers movie?" And they're like, "Yeah." But if I bring up any other Marvel movie or DC movie, they're like, "Probably not." So I think that those movies are kind of baked in as part of the pinnacle of event style watching. Um, but if they do, let's just say if Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars flops, if they both flop, there's going to be a huge red flag. There's no sugarcoating that at all. Because if you mess up on Avengers movies, which are supposed to be the pinnacle, you got bigger problems. And that might be where people will genuinely start to question, and I think it'll be fair. That might be the time to question Kevin Feige, right? Um, Now that's not my barometer on where or how the MCU can fail. I think for me, the real test is going to be what happens after Secret Wars. I think that is going to be where we really understand, okay, y'all don't have to play with your hands behind your back no more. Y'all have all your characters. You got your X-Men. What are you going to do with them? I think that's when we can really figure out the status of the MCU. But if they do flop, and I'm talking about like you don't even hit $1 billion with an Avengers movie, that's a problem. That is a very, very big problem. Um, let's see. Magic, what you got? I don't know about Jordan in this role. I feel like Damson Idris or Aldous Hodge is a better pick. For the Miami Vice, Damson could do it. I could see that. I could also see Aldous Hodge. I think both of them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they all. I think all three of them can work. Like, I wouldn't be mad at either one. But if you're talking about a movie, Jordan is the higher name brand that you want to go with. If you're talking about a TV show, Damson or Aldous would be a better pick, right? But they're trying to get money in the door. So yeah, having Jordan and Glenn Powell, yeah, it's just a better movie move. That's all. That's all it is. Famous J, I have an idea. Remake Blade. Hey, that's a little too smart. That's a little too on the nose, sir. Little too on the nose. Nelson, what you got? Thank you. Theaters need more 70 millimeters for the best experience. I'm not opposed to that at all. Bring it back. I'm fine with it. Um, Anthony, they already remade Star Wars. It's called Star Wars Episode 7, The Rehash Awakens. I like that movie though. That was actually not bad. New Hope. It was not bad. But yeah, well, they tried. They tried. Magic, what you got? Eric Bana and Ed Norton's Hulk could fight Superman, but not Mark's. You know what? Ed Norton's Hulk. That's my Hulk right there. Like Ed Norton's Hulk. That's a good. I like that Hulk so much. That Hulk is still one of the best versions of Hulk we've seen, in my opinion. Eric Bana's, I mean, my only issue with him was like he ain't never really fight nobody. He fought some dogs. Like you're right. They're both better than Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, but Ed Norton's Hulk for sure. That definitely would do it. Let's see how it's highlighting 3As. They're hinting at splitting this into 3 Avengers movies, or they're talking about splitting up 3 Avengers teams. That's also been something rumored as well, that you're going to have multiple Avenger teams doing different things and splitting up. At the same time, I don't care. I don't care. Like 3 movies, 3 teams, just give me the movie. It's been long enough. Give me the movie. Let's see what happens. Let's see if y'all still got it. JN Blade, my man, Denzel voice. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much again, sir. Appreciate you. All right, guys, let's move it on along. Let's talk about this. Who the hell is Tilly? All right. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Tilly Norwood has been drawing a whole lot of attention lately from the industry, the movie industry streets. And boy, look at it. That's Tilly right there. That is Tilly right there. But listen, before you start thinking something about her, I need you to know she ain't real. Okay? Because Tilly Norwood has become the first creation to emerge from a recently launched AI talent studio. I believe it's from Particle 6. One of the people that run it, Vander Velden, said that studios were quietly moving forward with AI projects. Quietly, you say. Says here, we were invited to most boardrooms in probably February time, and everyone was like, no, this is nothing. This is not going to happen. Then by May, everyone was like, we need to do something with you guys. He goes on to say here, when we first launched Tilly, people were like, no, that's not going to happen. And now we're going to announce which agency is going to be representing her in the next few months. So it is all changing, and everyone is starting to see the light, fortunately. Yikes. In July, Norwood revealed on her Facebook page that, why are they calling her? It's a it. That it had appeared in its first role, a comedy sketch called AI Commissioner. So I was able to get it. I feel like we can watch it. Let me see if I can load it up for you guys so we can watch this clip of this quote unquote actress. Let's see if I can get that. Okay. Let's do this properly. Okay, so as you can see from the messaging here, this entire video, everything you see is about to be 100% AI generated. No humans were harmed in the making of this production. Let's keep that in mind. Let's check it out.
We all knew TV was dead, but thought, why not squeeze in one last development meeting?
We had one rule: no missing children, no dead women, and no reboots of Heartbeat.
We'd pitched this beautiful comedy, two sisters running a funeral parlour in Margate. Warm, weird, very BBC Two.
The commissioner said no. AI generated 100 better ideas in minutes, perfectly aligned to channel data, viewing figures, and optimised for the audience. The winning AI format?
I know what you streamed last summer.
An interactive thriller built from your streaming history and Deliveroo orders.
What? And who could forget the mental health format?
Britain's Got Breakdown. Audience votes on who gets therapy.
Ian Katz loved that one. I remember saying, you do realise this is for BBC Two? It tested ridiculously well, particularly among men who shop at Screwfix and women obsessed with gut health.
All made for less than the catering budget on The Bear.
It cast and budgeted itself. Only bit it struggled with was consent in romantic scenes. We just ignored that.
It wrote the whole script. Claude 3, Gemini, GPT. We called it a writer's room. It even did its own Silver Mouse paperwork and immediately got Albert certified.
What's Silver Mouse?
Just an elaborate BBC hazing ritual. Who did it cast?
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
By some company called Particle 6.
She'll do anything I say. I'm already in love.
Girl next door vibes.
Like if a Sunday roast went to drama school and got BAFTA optimized.
But can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can, and it'll be clipped, subtitled, and monetized on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell. Got recommissioned, didn't it? 3 seasons and a podcast.
By an AI commissioner, much faster.
But hey, at least it wasn't a reboot.
Where's Stamina?
We all knew.
Why? These your peoples. These your peoples cross the pond. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. And I think what's more concerning about this is that if they had played that and there was no warning label, think of how many people would be fooled by that. Like it, I'm sure many of you already have that auntie, maybe even some of your parents that be sending you those messages on social media or email or WhatsApp, and they be like, can you believe this happened? And you sitting here looking at this like, this is a whole AI video. This is not real. But we're going to get to a point where people are not going to be able to tell the difference. This is scary. This is scary. Anyway, Norwood went on its social media and posted, "Can't believe it. My first ever role is live. I star in AI Commissioner." It added, "I may be AI generated, but I'm feeling very real emotions right now. I'm so excited for what's coming next." Vander Velden goes on to say, "We want Tilly to be the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman. How dare y'all? How dare you?" Goes on to say, "People are realizing that their creativity doesn't need to be boxed in by a budget. There are no constraints creatively, and that's why AI can be a positive. It's just about changing people's viewpoint. Audiences, they care about the story, not whether the star has a pulse. The age of synthetic actors isn't coming, it's here." Oh my gosh. So I definitely disagree with that. I don't believe that that's necessarily true. Some things we do care about, right? Some things in the story, I think primarily we care about. However, we watch movies, we go to plays because humans have an attraction to other humans, right? We like to see other humans doing things because we can relate to them, we can connect with them. And I agree that, like, yeah, we can have things in animation, cartoon, CGI even, but I don't find myself connecting in the same way compared to with another human that I see on screen. You know, there's just certain things, there's a certain divide that like happens in a animation or CGI that you can't really always capture with a human. I mean, we've tried. There have been, I remember watching a lot of those Final Fantasy movies, and they would have such realistic looking things. My thing is this: if you're going to use AI, I don't have a problem if you use AI for special effects or visual effects stuff, right? So if you're like, hey, I need a superhero that can transform his body into this and that, okay, fine, right? Because humans can't do that. But trying to make it into something where this AI actress passes for an actual actress, for an actual person, that's starting to cross the line, I think, to me. But it's not just me that's feeling this. Hollywood is speaking up as well. because we have SAG-AFTRA, the actors union. They have issued a statement against this. It says, to be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It's a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers without permission or compensation. And I think that is something we have to highlight. One of the reasons why this is so, controversial is because of the fact that AI is not something original. Okay. You, me, that person, they are original, right? AI is a compilation of other things that other people have done over the years. And then AI basically just regurgitates that back to us in some way. So, however, that Tilly was crying or whatever in that scene, it got that from some other human being that cried on a video, and it's just mimicking that. So, yeah, this is not giving consent or permission to the hundreds of millions of billions of people or images or videos that made this AI what it is today. And that's where the controversy is. Basically, it's kind of like stealing people's work in a sense. So they go on to say here, it has no life experience to draw from, no emotion. And from what we've seen, audiences aren't interested in watching computer generated content untethered from the human experience. It doesn't solve any problem. It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work, jeopardizing performer livelihoods and devaluing human artistry. I gotta agree with that. That's a good point. The guild goes on to say producers should be aware that they may not use synthetic performers without complying with our contractual obligations, which require notice and bargaining whenever a synthetic performer is going to be used. So keep in mind, we had like a whole actor strike for a while, and part of the agreements, which I think only lasts for a couple years until they got to go back and do it again, they have to be compensated. They have to be they have to follow certain guidelines. My fear here is if technology continues to go further, if it starts to progress, if it becomes easier to just generate a Tilly Norwood, if you don't need a huge company to do it, you could just do it on your phone and create your own person. I'm afraid that you might start to see actors, real actors, get phased out. Because if a studio, let's say Disney, whatever, if they can create their own Disney princess, for example, what they got to go hire people for? If they can create and generate all these things from scratch, why do they need to hire anybody? You just need to hire some tech programmers and that's it. And that's going to be a huge ripple effect. That's not just affecting the actors, that's affecting background people, that's affecting like staff and stuff. Like, it's great for the studio because they'll be able to cut corners and make stuff more original, but wow, that's going to be a problem industry wide, affecting people's jobs and livelihoods. And we still don't know how that's going to affect us, the people. Now, I like the fact that SAG-AFTRA is using this leverage now, because honestly, you got to fight for this now while you can, because the moment they're able to do these things with ease and cheaply, what bargaining power will you have? And at that point, I do believe it will probably come down to us, the people. It's going to have to come down to us sitting here saying, we don't want this. We're not going to pay to watch this. You better make movies with real people. And that's hopefully, if we even care. Not me, you. I'm talking about like the general public. If the general public actually cares and does not feed into it with money, that's the only way this will really never go anywhere. But we'll have to see. Now the the main person for the AI group had something to say in defense, saying Tilly is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art. Didn't you just say you wanted it to be the next ScarJo and Natalie Portman? Like, that sounds like a replacement to me. Like, if you're taking that spot, because ScarJo was only one of the highest paid female actresses for a minute, like, it sounds like a replacement. What do you say? They go on to say, I see AI not as a replacement for people, but as a new tool. Just as animation, puppetry, or CGI open fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting, AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. Yeah, I don't think that that's the case. The difference is with animation, puppetry, or CGI, we knew that. We always knew that, oh, even though it's CGI, this is not real. That was fine. We have a space for that. You're trying to blur that line. You're trying to step and be sneaky about it and be like, oh yeah, it's just a little animation AI person. It's all good. Sooner or later, if people start to actually not even realize that it's AI, then that's how it becomes a replacement. So just because your intention is good or different now doesn't mean that it'll stay the same, nor does it mean that the outcome is going to be the same later. And that's the real fear. People are more so concerned about the outcome if this becomes normalized. Whoopi Goldberg came out and said, you can always tell them from us, we move differently, our faces move differently, our bodies move differently. Whoopi, I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. This technology is growing fast. We already lived in a technical revolution. We are seeing the beginnings of AI. To me, what AI is now, y'all remember in them early video games, I'm talking about like Tecmo Bowl, or some sports game from like NBA 2K1, or something like that. Remember when they used to have these block heads? It was like these block figures, and they had like a picture of the person, of the player, and that's what you used to play with, like on the video games. That's where we are now with AI. And imagine how scary AI is now. AI is only about to get better. Okay? Think about the gap of video games from 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we are seeing what AI can do in the very beginning. And this is the beginning when everyone doesn't have full access to do everything and anything, right? So, like, this thing is about to accelerate like crazy, okay? And it's going to go fast. Like, I'm talking about in the next 5 years, I don't think we'll be able to tell the difference. Honestly, I really don't think we will be able to be like, somebody's going to bamboozle us. Somebody is going to trick us with a whole movie. We're going to be like, dang, who's this new person? Imagine this. And I'm only saying this because, I can verify it. But imagine if all this time, Glenn Powell was actually AI. Imagine that. Imagine if all this time, Hollywood's biggest secret, the biggest conspiracy, was Glenn Powell, or hell, even Pedro Pascal, was always AI. Imagine how you would feel if after watching this and you see them in all these movies and stuff, and all of a sudden, bam, boom, they reveal it. Now, I can say that because I've actually seen and met Glenn Powell in person. Nice guy. So I'm like, okay, I can say that for him. But I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if somebody pulls some sort of trick like that on us in the future. Oh, man. So, in addition to this, now, shout out to, friends out there in the UK. They not with it, okay? Because the UK actors guilds or whatnot, they already speaking out against this too. Okay, this is equity execs in the UK. one of the executives, organizers says, but what that tool is made up of, performers' work, and we are concerned about where that work has come from and if that's been given consent to being used in that way. They go on to say here, we're at the stage. Oh, who's this? Okay, yeah, this more from Equity. We're at the stage in AI where so much data has been used that the original source becomes more and more unclear. And that's something that should worry every viewer, every working person, because that's not really the way our data should be being used. That's true. That is true. Let's see. They go on to say, I think agents or agencies should be really focusing on ensuring that the industry is supporting performers as AI comes into the fold. Yeah. So it looks like at least, British actors, and listen, British actors are viewed as premium in the industry. They not with it either. Okay. Don't give me no Game of Thrones full of AI actors. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it. So that's it, guys. The studios, they playing footsie with these AIs. Okay. The agencies, they also are out here. It's tempting. It's a way for them to cut corners. I don't know. Y'all let me know. How do you feel about this whole Tilly Norwood situation? Do you think that the studios and the industry are going to move towards AI actors? Do you think that that's a right move? Is there a compromise that could be made some way, somehow? Maybe they only do background. Maybe they only do some. I don't know. But whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. DJ Payne, thank you. Tilly, I don't care. I concur. I concur with that. Please go away. Now, if I turn this webcam on you,
I wouldn't care.
Okay. Goodbye.
You know I don't care.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. Shogun, what you got? There was an interesting movie from the 2000s called Sim 1 about an AI actress. Interesting. I'd have to check that out. I have not seen that. But thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into what are we doing? Oh, okay. Let me upload these. I'll upload these real quick so I can get this. Now, I might need some of y'all help with these because I don't know. I just saw this yesterday. Hold on. Let me change this up. Okay. Let's talk about Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle. So many of you guys have been asking me to review this. What do I think about it? Just to kind of give you some background, I have actually watched all of Demon Slayer, so I am caught up. I do not read the manga. Okay, I am not a manga reader. That is not my thing. I know that there's this whole beef between manga readers and anime readers. Listen, I'm on team anime. Okay, I will completely ignore the manga so that I can enjoy my anime in peace. And that's something I've done with Demon Slayer, and I have no regrets, because one of the things I absolutely love about Demon Slayer is just how amazing this stuff looks. So it's one of the things that drew me to watching this. Now, it's been a while. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't have time, but I got to watch it yesterday. So not to give too much away, and for those that are wondering, I don't believe you can just go into this movie cold, right? You do actually have to watch the anime, or at least know what happens in the manga. The manga, by the way, is that's the comic version for those of y'all that don't know. You can't just walk into this. This is not just some, it's a continuation and a culmination of ending the animated series, right? So there is that for you to understand. So for those of you, I'm still going to keep it spoiler free-ish, mainly for the people who are still interested in watching this. I believe it is still in theaters as of right now. So let me just kind of talk about it. Now, I will need some of y'all help. I don't remember everybody's names. Okay, I don't remember all their names, so it's gonna be rough. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be rough. Okay, because I read, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen to it in English dub. I read the names in the subtitles. I listen to the Japanese. I might mess up the pronunciation. So I'm giving y'all, if y'all are new, if y'all are like, man, what is this guy reviewing? He don't know. I don't know. I'm letting y'all know right now. Okay. So if somebody says the names, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. But I don't know all the names. So we're gonna work around this as best as I can. All right. Anyway, let me start off with what is good. So first and foremost, I really enjoy the visuals. The visuals in this do not let up at all. I mean, with the water, the fire, the elements, the sword techniques. Oh my God, these things come alive so beautifully, so masterfully. I have to say that is one of the reasons why even the animated series, I think it was season 1, I think it was episode 18, I want to say, but it was basically when Tanjiro came up with like this combination with the water technique and the fire breathing technique, and I was just sitting there like, what? I've never seen something so amazing. And they took it up to a same level in this film. I thought the cinematography was amazing, especially given the fact that everybody keeps on. It was like Alicia Keys. I keep on falling, because everybody just kept falling, right? They just kept falling in this infinity castle. But I love the visuals with it. I loved how they had the crows or the ravens being able to see everything, and you just like going through like this big old maze. And I just thought it was just fantastic to watch. Like, even if you had this movie on mute, it's impossible to take your eyes off of it. Everything was just captivating. So I love that. I also liked the new elements that they brought into this, which was like, the other world, right? I'll just say that the other world that Tanjiro was able to see, or that he was able to perceive. I thought that was cool. I love it when you can give me new elements, new layers in a mythos. And I thought they did a really good job with this. That worked out very, very well. I have to also say the new demons are a problem. This guy right here, this dude right here, probably one of the most unsettling characters. I have never seen somebody so twisted. I mean, I have seen Twisted, but this dude gave me the creeps. This dude was an entire problem the whole time. And that right there, I was sitting here like, yo, I love it, right? I love it when you can give me characters that are an incredible challenge for the main characters, and he did all of that. He was a walking problem the entire time. I have to also say I love it when y'all gonna have to help me with this brother's name. I'm gonna call him Brother Lightning, because man, this is my guy. This is my guy. He was on business the second he got in this castle. Okay, and what I love is the character development that they did with his character. They have leveled this dude up. They have made this man, he has gone from a boy to a man. Okay, a boy to a man. I love his character. I love how they made him so goofy, so clumsy, and then all of a sudden he bought that business. Because once he get that look in his eyes, once he looks at you, he's like, I'm about to kill you right now. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, I love it. I love it. Next up, I will say I did like the drama. I like the drama that they brought into this. I like some of the stories. Now, this is something classic that they've repetitively done in the animated series as well, and just in the manga stories, where you get like this background story and you get the more emotional, dramatic elements of this stuff, and of the characters, right? I like that. I like the fact that this is not It's not predictable. It's not happy-go-lucky. There are real stakes here. And I like that with these characters and with the story. I thought they did a fantastic job getting at the emotional core of these things. I thought they did a pretty good job with that. And whew, man, I loved how they raised the threat levels. I love how I talked about the different villains and stuff. I love how they basically was like, listen, we gonna be like DBZ, okay, Dragon Ball Z. We gonna make sure that ain't nothing easy over here, okay? Everything is a battle. Everything is hard. It is not going to be no cakewalk for nobody, okay? I love that so much. And of course, like, come on now. I talked about the visuals, but the actual fight choreography I thought was impeccable. That was on point. It just every single time my eyes were moving all across the screen. I loved where they was going with it. I love how they was fighting. I loved how every character had their own distinct style. That to me was really, really dope. And by the way, that dude too, the Joker looking villain, love him. Love him. But now I think I covered all of it. The visuals, the story, the drama, the emotion, the fighting, the villains. Fantastic. But I got to get to the bad stuff. I would say this. And this has kind of been a bit of an annoyance for me when it comes to even the animated series. Sometimes this stuff dragged. Sometimes it would drag a little bit too long, especially when you have certain background stories. Now, one thing that I noticed in this film was that it was 2.5 hours long. And as I'm watching this, I was like, ooh, 2.5 hours. That's a good chunk of movie right there, right? And I remember watching the first fight, and the first fight got done, and I looked at the time, and I was just like, oh, snaps. Oh, we still got like an hour and a half left. I was like, okay, great. Then we get to the next fight, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, oh, snaps. We still got like a good hour left. Like, I'm like, yo, this is dope. And then we get a backstory. I'm not going to tell you whose backstory, but that backstory was long. That was a long. I'm like, y'all milking this a little bit long. That could have been a whole nother movie. How long they dragged that certain backstory towards the third act of the film. I was like, man, we could have squeezed in at least 2 more fights. There was 2 more fights in there that we could have gotten, So I do think that the pacing kind of slowed down a bit with the backstory. It was a little bit more than I was hoping for. I'm not saying they shouldn't have any, but they dragged that one on. And then the last thing is the last battle, as high octane as it got, and with the new twists and the different exciting elements that they added to it, I thought that it ended on an anticlimactic ending. I didn't like how it specifically ended. To go to those levels, to go to that depth, and to end the final fight the way that they did, it makes sense on paper. It does. But I was just also like, ugh. Like, man, we did all that work just for you to end it like that? Like, man, this had Goku, Gohan versus Cell levels to it. Like, it was really going to the brink. But the way they ended that last fight, to me, it was a little anticlimactic. I wasn't completely satisfied. Not with that. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for the bad. But overall, I would say, Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle, this was a great start of a new trilogy, because this is going to be a trilogy now of 3 parts to conclude. This was a fantastic introduction to the conclusion of an entire series. This is exactly what you want when it comes to animation, the quality, The storytelling, fantastic. Yes, it does have a little bit of a drag here and there, but overall, I think that this was fantastic. So when it comes to the rating for Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, I gotta give this a 9 out of 10. This was a great watch. Thank you to all of y'all that pushed me and kept me honest to go watch it. But yes, this was absolutely fantastic. I had a great time with it. Definitely enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the next 2 movies. There's a lot that they got to go through, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. So you guys let me know if you have seen it, and I'm sure many of you have. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the film in the comments down below. All right. All right, let's move on and talk about a little DC news. Let's DCU news. All right, so we got a couple of different updates from James Gunn. You know, he's been on the tour lately, press tour, saying a couple things here and there. And this will be about mainly the next couple of films to come, and a little Peacemaker information too. So again, if you haven't watched Peacemaker, it might get a little spoilery for you. So I don't know if you want to get too deep into this. But anyway, first up, James Gunn says that many big actors have asked him about playing Batman in the DCU. He says plenty of things are in flux on what his situation is with his parentage and all that stuff. So I wouldn't take any of it. So, I mean, first and foremost, duh, of course, like whoever is going to want to be Batman, of course, that's got to be a coveted role. That has to be there for an actor. There is so much to do with Batman because you have to be on point. And this is something I've always talked about with the character of Batman. You can't just come in because you got a whole lot of muscles and you a big guy. Sorry, that's not Batman. Batman is a complex, insane individual. You have to be able to be that physical darkness in the night that strikes fear in the hearts of everyone. And then you got to be a billionaire playboy by day. Like you have to be psychotic you have to be able to play that role that way. So it totally makes sense when he says big actors are coming at him to play this role. My thing is, though, I don't think you can hire a big actor. You're not getting a Ben Affleck, a Christian Bale, type of actor in James Gunn's DCU. That's not going to work. As we've seen, at least in Peacemaker so far, James Gunn, and he was always open about this, he needs his actors to be able to cross over into everything, right? So you're not getting a Leonardo DiCaprio type of guy, movie star, to come into the DCU because you need that person to also voice in the animated series, TV shows, or to show up in the TV series as well. They need to show up in the Waller TV series or in Peacemaker, if they're doing another season. That's what you need. You can't use A-level or A-list actors to do that because I don't think any A-list actor is going to put their whole career on the side just to be in the DCU. Now, you take a B-level actor, A-minus level actor, that'll work. So, I'm just saying that because I would not expect any big major Hollywood names to take this role on. Next up, we have about Man of Tomorrow. Now, I think I'm on record saying this, but we've talked about how James Gunn had already said that Man of Tomorrow was going to be basically a movie where Lex Luthor and Superman have to team up against a much bigger threat. I had already said, yo, that sounds like Brainiac, right? Like it just seems like the most logical, next step in terms of like who and what they will have to face in the DCU. And James Gunn went ahead and posted the script of Man of Tomorrow. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's a script of a human brain. So I think that was pretty obvious, right? That was pretty obvious what he was trying to tease with that. And that's basically, what he also commented on here in this interview, where, the leading suspicion is that Brainiac is going to be the next villain. And he says here, listen, of course I wasn't unaware that when I posted the cover of the script that there was going to be a discussion around the particular topic, but I think we'll hold off from what exactly is happening. So yes, he knows that basically, what he was doing. He knows he was teasing that. Now, this is where we do get into a little bit of Peacemaker territory. So once again, this is your little, spoiler alert, like you might not want to be listening any further after this. All right. Now, Gunn clarifies that Peacemaker's current Earth X storyline will not carry over to the big screen because that is just for the TV show. Now, we've already seen that when it comes to Peacemaker in the first season, right? There was a whole alien invasion, and there was little to no talk about that in any movie. So, once again, whatever's going on in Peacemaker is probably going to stay regulated to the TV side of things at most. He does go on and say, but there are other elements, and part of that is the relationship between Rick Flag and Lex Luthor, and that's an important thing going forward in the DCU and Man of Tomorrow and so on. So I kind of, if I had to speculate, actually, I'll save that for my Peacemaker reaction, but he's basically saying that that's going to be a part of it to some degree, that if you are going to see any connections, that's where and how it will come from. Speaking directly to the Ringerverse podcast, Gunn said the Superman follow-up film will explore the incredibly heroic side and heart of Lex and getting to know more of Lex as a human being. So what this sounds like to me is that basically we're going to see, Lex basically show off his more compassionate side for humanity. So in other words, we know that Lex hates Superman, but what we really need to understand is Lex loves humanity, and his love for humanity has made him anti-meta-human, right? So he hates all these things that potentially threaten humanity. And of course, if we're talking about for the comics and stuff like that, it could be one of the situations where this is how Lex, I wouldn't say proves his innocence, but this is how maybe he starts to win people over in the future, right? Like he is that kind of person who, let's just say, as a convicted felon in the comics, still ends up becoming president. Would you look at that? So anyway, that's what I'm pretty much getting from James Gunn's comments here. He does continue and say that it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's a big part of it. It's as much a Lex movie as it is a Superman movie. So it's more of a combination for these two characters in the next Man of Tomorrow film. Let's see. So you guys let me know, what do you think about those DCU updates? I do have one other thing to talk about. Let's see. No, actually, you know what? We can just talk about this here. It's fine. It's the same thing. It's still a little bit more on Peacemaker, but it's Gunn on Peacemaker. It's all connected. It's all DCU, whatever. And again, like I said, this is spoilery. So, if you haven't seen it, this is on you at this point. But just in regards to Lex being in Peacemaker and showing up, James Gunn basically said that, listen, in the short term, there's not a season 3 of Peacemaker coming up. He says you're gonna find out more in episode 8 because it's not necessarily that. Some of these characters will continue, but also it's not exactly Peacemaker 3. I'm not ruling it out. You'll see episode 8, and maybe you'll find out a little bit more. So this is where we have to kind of speculate a little bit. James Gunn is basically telling us that maybe there's a Peacemaker season 3, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I mean, we do have to see what happens in episode 8. I have my theories and thoughts on that. I'll share that a little bit later, but it doesn't sound like there's anything right now. And I think what's a highlight importantly about this is we saw the enthusiasm that James Gunn had when season 2 of he was like, I'm working on Peacemaker season 2 right now. He was super excited about that. He was not hiding that at all. So, you know, he's kind of letting us know, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but we will have to determine that after this. One other thing he talked about, and we'll go back to the DCU updates here. They asked Gunn for an update on The Authority. Now, in case y'all forgot, The Authority was supposed to be a whole movie that James Gunn was going to make. It was going to be this other version of a superhero team, and they were going to be kind of like the Justice League, except more rated R and mature and all that. But we ain't heard nothing about that. So he says, look, it's the one that got messed with through all the other things that were happening. The script had a harder time coming along. And he goes on and says to Deadline that The Authority is not kaput. So it's not done. There's someone who is really good, who is a really good creator, who talked to me the other day. And they asked, so does that mean it's a series? James Gunn was like, who knows? I'm probably not going to do certain movies with characters who audiences don't know. It's harder to get people in the theater for that kind of thing. Oof. All right. So a couple of things right there. On one point, yes, I understand where he's going with the Authority and respect to him for that, right? James Gunn, one thing he's always made very clear, if the script ain't hitting, we not going, right? Like they need to make sure that the script is together, it's good before they move forward with it. Now, here's the other thing. Sir, you had a whole announcement that the Authority was going to be a thing. You pulled a little mini Kevin Feige right there. Okay, you made a whole video talking about what chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters was going to be. The Authority was up there on your list. So I'm just saying, maybe take your own advice. And until the script is ready and you like it and it's done, then you announce it. Then you do that. So listen, he gets a little pass because, you know, he is the first time executive on that level and all that. But I'm just saying that, you know, just maybe wait. Maybe wait till it's done. Now, his last quote about being a little bit more apprehensive with characters that are a little unknown. This is tricky. I think that on one hand, he's right. DC is the kind of universe where they don't have to deal with character rights. Well, they kind of do, but not really. Their main players are all in play. They can make a Superman movie, Flash, Batman, Wonder Woman. They can do all these things that people already know. And it makes sense, right? You want people to pay their money to go watch these movies. No offense, but nobody was really checking for Blue Beetle that much, right? Like it was an unknown character. I mean, I liked it. It was fine to me, but it was not like $1 billion hit. Now, on the flip side of that, you know, actually, no, let's go back to the other side. James Gunn was successful in making unknown characters popular, which were the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? He did that with Marvel. Now, granted, that was a different time. It was in 2014, right? Expectations were different, but it's possible you can have a character that's not known actually be good. Now, on the flip side, this is my concern. Part of my concern is that DC, on the film side of things, I'm not talking about TV, I'm not talking about animation, I'm talking about on the film side. If you revert to the idea that you will not push unknown characters, to me, that leaves out minority and Black characters. Because it's harder, I think, for them to sit here and justify, hey, let's put this Static Shock out there. Listen, the Black community might know who Static is. That doesn't mean that the general audiences does, you know. Hey, let's do a Black Lightning. Sure, maybe some people watch the show, but that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want them to use that as an excuse not to highlight unknown characters. And I say unknown really to the general overall audiences, because sometimes you do need to take a risk. And I say that you take a risk with characters that have that potential. So for example, we don't need a Jimmy Olsen movie. Not at all. I don't care if he was in Superman. I don't even really want a Jimmy Olsen TV show, if I'm being honest. I don't want that. Can a Mr. Terrific movie work? Maybe. I don't personally know. I never really read the Mr. Terrific comics, so I don't know what potential he has or not. But I could see that being a little risky. I could see that being more of a TV show than an actual movie. But if we're being honest, there was a time where Black Panther was an unknown character as well. But Marvel took a shot. Marvel was like, nah, this character's dope. This character deserves to be seen. This character is wild. Let's go with it. And it blew up. And the effect of that was, not only did you take this unknown character with great stories and a rich, background and all of that, but you made the character popular. It wasn't until after Captain America Civil War and we saw Black Panther featured, that's the first time I really started to see Black Panther comic books getting pushed. I'm seeing Ta-Nehisi Coates writing. I'm seeing Black Panther showing up in animation. I'm going to the store and I'm seeing Black Panther action figures in the stores. I'm sitting here like, I never seen this, but it took the push of the movies to do that. So anyway, I say that because I'm hoping that there is not going to be an apprehension on DC, because DC has always had an issue with minority characters. They've always done, they've pushed minority characters aside to being just side or supporting characters, and they've been reluctant to push them into the main spotlight. Yes, highlighting Mr. Terrific, shout out to him, for a nice little action sequence is great, but that's not the same as here's your own standalone movie. Those are two very different things. So anyway, all right, you guys let me know, what did you think about James Gunn's comments about the movies, about how they're going to move forward with Peacemaker or not? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see, Anthony, what you got? AI is wild. I just saw a video of Sora of Mr. Rogers breakdancing. When I was done laughing, I was scared of how stuff like this will be used. Yeah, like stuff like that is scary. Like there's a lot of stuff in there that people can do. And, my thing is, I'm more afraid when people start to make it political. And I'm talking about like, hey, we're using AI to make it seem like this elected official or this political figure said this or did that, and people won't know what to believe. That's what scares me. The entertainment stuff is whatever. If you want to watch a video of two cats getting into relationship drama as they eat a donut or whatever, like whatever. But yeah, when they start using real people and all that, yeah, that's DJ Gunn has the talent for making D-list characters relevant. Suicide Squad is proof of that. Sure, yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, now let's get on to actually, yeah, let's a little bit more gun on Peacemaker. A little bit more. So we'll talk a little bit about Peacemaker, and then after this, I'll give you my reaction to season 2. So far, just so you guys know, the season 2 finale for Peacemaker, it's gonna be about 1 hour long. So get ready. There's a whole lot coming, right? Because like the other episodes were like about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45. This final episode is going to be a doozy. So I think that's going to definitely be something a lot of people are looking forward to. I know I am. And yeah, we'll definitely see what they have in store for us. But this is more gun on now John Cena, where he says, Gunn says that he doesn't see Cena as a wrestler. First of all, there's a joke there. You don't see Cena. You don't see him. Anyway, he doesn't see him as a wrestler turned actor. He said he's an actor. Every actor did something before they were acting, and that just happens to be the job he had before this because he is fantastic. And you know what? Yeah. I have to agree with him. Now, granted, wrestling, you are practicing acting, might not be doing it very well, but I think I'm in agreement with him at this point. I think Cena is definitely turning things around. Now, again, if you have seen the final episode or the last episode, episode 7 of, well, actually more so episode 6, then you know the big turn that happened and the big twist that was revealed. And yeah, some people are mad. Some people are mad at James Gunn. And of course, y'all know it's the usual suspects. It's the usual suspects. But this is what he had to say. He was like, yeah, heard from a few racists after Peacemaker. Just a couple racists. No big deal. He goes on to say, I really do whatever I want with Peacemaker. And I mean, in one respect, I do whatever I want with anything because I am able to make my own choices and I'm my own boss. Ooh. But with Peacemaker, we really let it go. We take chances. We go to places where I think other people are afraid to go. Okay, now wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Now, I just got done talking about James Gunn and my concern for minority characters getting movies. You're telling me, Mr. Gunn, you are your own boss. Don't nobody tell you what to do. Let me just explain what that means to me. That means that the onus of what gets represented or what does not falls on you. You cannot sit here and say, like Feige. It's one thing if he says, well, the Disney execs, the powers that be, are restricting me like Ike Perlmutter did with Black Panther and Captain Marvel. That's one thing. But if you're sitting here saying, can't nobody tell you nothing, I'm just saying the onus lands on you. So if I'm sitting here watching the DCU and for the next 5-10 years, I don't see one Black-led single movie, and I'm talking about like not an ensemble, not a team up, not like, oh, we got Black people around, not a co-star with some lanterns. I'm talking about just like how Supergirl has her own movie, just like how Superman has his own movie. If we don't have a Black-led something film, some minority-led films, it's gonna fall on you because you, as you said, you are your own boss. So, okay. Cool. Now he said we got a lot of pushback from various sources within the structure on the episode in particular, and we're like, let's not be bashful about this. Let's just do the story that we want to do, and I don't want to have to pull punches with it. That sounds like an issue to me. We are now living in a world. We are now living in a society where somebody is getting pushback from highlighting an episode that featured Nazis as being bad. I remember a time where even when we were not the most conscious about racism or evil or anything like that, there were two things that you could talk about, and every single person in this country could easily agree upon. And that was the KKK and Nazis. Those were the only two factions, groups of people that everyone just could sit here and say, those people are bad. If you're going to attack anyone, Nazis and the KKK are fine. My question for James Gunn: who the hell in your structure is giving you pushback over displaying Nazis as bad? That should concern you. That's troubling to me. Nazis are no longer the line? Are we on Earth X? Whew. Man. He says here, I have a few racists that have called me polarizing, but I'm okay with being polarizing and letting racists fall to the wayside. People have loved this episode the most, so it's exciting. Listen, we're dealing with a very sensitive subject. We're dealing with racism, and at the same time, there's humor in this episode. And so you're dealing with something very delicate, and yet we're not being delicate about it. But I don't think we're not being delicate in a non-thoughtful way. We're being thoughtful about it. I really hope that we get to a place in society where racism is not a sensitive topic. Because my question is, sensitive for who? Is it sensitive for the people that are victims of it? I'm just saying, like, the people that are victims of racism, I don't see them sitting here saying, "Oh, please, let's not talk about racism." I don't see them saying stuff like that. Who are you trying to coddle? Now, I get it. You know, he wants to, and I agree. He did do it in a thoughtful way. Totally understand that. It's just that the mere fact that that exists is sad to me. We should be in a place where we're like, yeah, we shouldn't be okay with an ideology that puts other people down on a social construct that is not real. There is no racism. Racism is a social construct. We made it up. There's a human race. We made up white. Well, I'm sorry. Wait, let me back that up. We didn't make that up. What was that? The Spaniards and the English, the Europeans, they made up the whole races. Okay, let's be clear about that. Okay, they came around and was like, ooh, barbarians. You know, we didn't do that. So I don't like the fact that this is a sensitive subject. I really wish that we could all come into agreement and be like, it's wrong. And we really should just respect human beings and appreciate our differences and respect them. That's what I'm hoping we can get to with this. So anyway, that's it for James Gunn. I appreciate the fact that he has no problem going ahead and talking about these issues. I will say this definitely had me looking at James a little different. I was like, okay, James, like, okay, all right, Nazi turn, okay, I'm cool with this. So anyway, you guys let me know, what do you think about what James Gunn had to say? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Now let us get to this final portion. All right, let me give you guys my quick reactions here for it's probably not even gonna be quick, but my thoughts on season 2 of Peacemaker. Now, I do have to apologize first and foremost. I have not been able to have time to do the episode breakdowns that we normally do. I know that, I know you guys deserve that. I wish I had the time and the energy to do it, but I've been swamped. I just being honest with y'all, I've been swamped. Even doing the Alien Earth thing, y'all saw I was lagging with that. Like it's hard. It's hard doing a full-time job and then trying to do side projects for your other job. So I do apologize for that. So this is not going to be a full breakdown. This is me going through all the episodes. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts, just quick reaction. And that's pretty much what it is with this. So I just want to set expectations. And once again, for whoever's watching, spoiler alert, we're doing the spoilers for episodes 1 through 7 of Peacemaker. And again, I'm just giving my thoughts on the episodes overall. So just be alert with that. Okay, so starting off with the first episode, definitely I like where we pick up with Chris. I like how we find out that he is just a shell of himself, and a lot of it has to do with his past trauma. Like James Gunn does an incredibly good job with making sure that we understand that this man is incredibly flawed. He has problems, and they're a lot deeper than we thought they were. So I really like that. I just love Adebayo. I love what's his name? John. He funny. Too funny. Love their relationship. Love what they're doing together. Harcourt, she got some problems. And the fact that she is willing to just go get beat up all day, every day, and then go fight and stuff. First of all, I'm like, man, can you go join a fight club? Like, at least get paid. Like, you not working. You don't have a job. Go to a fight club, make some money. Why are you fighting, Bob in the bar? What is this? Anyway, Rick Flag, we see Senior is back. I love Frank Grillo. Frank is such a great actor to me. I am such a fan of his. And of course, he is also a continuation from what we saw in Creature Commandos. So I love his inclusion here. Economos, thank you. I always get his name wrong. That's such a weird name, Economos. Like, what is that? But man, when he gets to go to this other dimension and he sees his brother, y'all cannot sit here and tell me, if you have ever lost a loved one, that if there was a door you could walk through and it's a different world and that person is right there, that you would not also walk through that door. So the fact that they are able to use this comic realm fictional reference to make that something we can live through Peacemaker and experience, I thought was beautiful. I thought that was amazing, because we've known that he has been the person that he's become today, right? What we saw of him in Suicide Squad, what we saw of him in, he's on a quest for peace, the arrogance, all of that stems from his childhood trauma of losing his brother. So the fact that he has this opportunity to not only reunite with his brother, but to be with him, to live with him, like that's some great storytelling. And that's something I really want to highlight. Like, this is why we watch TV, why we watch movies, because we get the opportunity to envision a what if scenario. And this is it. And I thought James Gunn did a great job with it. Now I still don't like Buddy, mainly because I forget the actor's name. I don't like him because he was Pam's bad boyfriend on The Office, and he played that role incredibly well. I was always Team Jim. And yeah, he was a jerk. So every time I see him now, I still don't like him from The Office. If you've seen The Office, you know what I'm talking about, but I have problems with him. I don't like him. I don't like him. This is my guy. This vigilante is easily the funniest character on this entire show. My man is hilarious. Like, just every time he shows up, everything he says is just too funny. First of all, and I didn't know this, and it's not shade, I had no idea this man was British. Like, I was watching the behind the scenes and he started talking in his British accent, and I was like, they got me again. You got me again. I thought this dude was some random actor that grew up in Scranton, Ohio, but it was a Brit. It was a Brit all along. Who knew? Who knew? But Vigilante is easily one of my favorites. Of course, we get to the scene where, you know, Chris ends up killing his other doppelganger. That was messed up, but I thought it introduced a very good twist, a good angle for them to pursue. Once again, just Adrian is hilarious. Like him and John just why was he trying to wash his pants? Like he just be doing the randomest things. I like the fact that Harcourt is going through whatever it is that she's going through. It's a nice little side story. She clearly has her own development that needs to happen as well. Tim Meadows steals it. Now, I like Vigilante the most, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Tim Meadows did not come on here and put on a clinic. This man has always been historically funny. Now, he hasn't been the funniest, but right now with the bird blindness, he is too fun. The way he will give people nicknames, the way he will, sit here and talk about how, he when he was fighting against Eagly, he was like, man, I got attacked by a duck. All of that was funny. First of all, let me make sure the kids ain't here. His nicknames are hilarious. When he was talking about like, yo, did you see what that duck did to Titties? Titties is never going to be the same. I laughed so hard. So hard. How you going to call somebody Titties? That's not, you can't do that. You cannot do that. And it's just, the fact that, what did he call the other agent? Like, was it cool cutie or cool something? Just, dude is hilarious. He is hilarious. I don't even think James Gunn wrote those lines. I honestly think Tim was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got this. Let me take care of this real quick. I'll make up the lines. Okay. Just tell me my character's name and I'm going to go. Right. I think everything was completely just made up. Ginger Cool. Right. He goes, like, you can't call me Ginger Cool. Oh my God. He is too funny. Too funny. Let's see what else. So yes, now we get the backstory. I like the fact that we got the backstory of how Augie, his Peacemaker's dad, how he was able to find the helmet and the the portal and all that stuff, because that never added up to me. I was like, how is this dude got all these helmets and he's able to what? This makes more sense. That he's just a little old redneck country guy, and he went and found this alien, shot him, killed him, which is messed up. And that's how he got us. Okay, now I'm with that. So now we see, Peacemaker going into this other world. He's experiencing all this. And, by the way, Judo Master, why he always got to have some snacks? This man always chomping on some Flaming Hots at that. Gotta have them Cheetos. But I did like his interactions overall. I liked his little bit of character development as well. We did start to learn a little bit more about him. Now, I gotta say, at first, I'm struggling to figure out if and why and how I should care about her. I get it. They said that she's a cyborg. She got all these, things in her or whatever. I'm still wondering, like, so? Like, I don't know why or if I should care about her. That's all. It's not adding up. Rick Flag Jr. I'm only a little concerned about this because I did think it was premature that they killed Rick, in the other series or in the Suicide Squad movie. But my thing is like, and I like Joel Kinnaman. I like him as an actor. I really don't want this Rick Flag to come to our, to the main universe. I don't want this one. If you get another Rick Flag, that's fine. This skittish, clumsy, whatever dude, like, he's funny for this universe. Please don't make him the main Rick Flag if he comes back. Please don't do that. Yeah, then we get Chris going into action, doing what he's doing. Now he's having his little relationship with Hardcore. Now I did like this because again, this kind of speaks to what would you do, right? If you were in today's world and you was trying to get up with your ex and your ex was like, I don't like you. I don't want you and I don't like you. Get away from me. And then you can walk through this other door and your ex is looking just as good, but is completely different. They nice, they attractive, they like you, they talk to you, they want you. Like, why wouldn't you want to stay there? Why wouldn't you want to go there? Right? So that makes sense. I love this relationship between Chris and Adebayo. I think that they are doing a great job with that as well. I like the fact that she can get him to actually open up. She can actually be there for him. And I like the fact that, he's actually there for her too. It's a nice platonic, real friendship. So I like how they're developing that. Of course, Rick Flag. Now, I do believe that Rick Flag is going to go to extremes. I think, especially if we're going to get to, hold on, because I think that was one of the questions. How do you think Peacemaker will end? Thank you for that, Rachel. I think one of the ways that it will end, especially when it comes to Rick Flag Sr., he's clearly going to get kicked out. He's going to get kicked out. He's going to cross a line. He's going to do something that is reprehensible, that is going to be bad. And some way, somehow, they're going to be like, we will see a cameo of Amanda Waller from Viola Davis. She's going to be back, right? Because even in the comics, in the cartoons, she's always coming back. She always comes back because it's a dirty job running Argus. And she, no matter how much they don't like how she does it, she gets the job done. And she's been running it for a minute. So I think that one of the ways they will do the ending is Rick Flag Sr. is going to go. He's going to, probably do something that's not that bright, not that good, or maybe go too far, probably with these multiverses or whatever. And they're going to bring him right back. They're going to bring Amanda Waller right back. Oh my God, Michael Rooker. First of all, I don't have any indigenous first, Native American friends. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how people are supposed to feel about this white dude. And I mean, like, they call it out in the show, which I like. I do appreciate that they call it out and they don't act like this is just normal and okay, that he's absolutely appropriating Native American culture. But his fight with Eagly was hilarious. I will say that. I did laugh at that. I thought it worked. What I like the most is that they did not shy away from the supernatural elements, right? Because at first it sounded like he was kind of weak, cracked, like he was just kind of like kooky or whatever, like, oh, the prime eagle and blah blah blah. No, Eagly is that eagle. He's that eagle. And that makes so much more sense as to why Eagly is so just superior, right? We've seen Eagly do a lot of stuff. It all makes sense. And I'm okay with this. It's a comic book series. That's fine. And yeah, shout out to John for stepping up. John would step up when he needed to, man. He knocked the mess out of Buddy too. He knocked the mess out of him clean cold. Anyway, I laughed so hard when Vigilante kept asking to finally meet himself, and he actually met himself. I laughed at this way too hard. Way too hard. The fact that these dudes are exactly the same. The fact that this almost makes Vigilante a Nexus type being. Like he's always just going to be the same everywhere he goes. I love it. Now, what I don't know if y'all caught this. I'm sure you did. I cracked up when they started describing their worlds, and Vigilante X was like, oh yeah, World War II, the Nazis won, they took over, and that's what it is here. And he's like, the main Vigilante was like, what? Nazis rule here? Oh, that's crazy. No, we won World War II. X was like, y'all won? Oh my God, y'all don't have Nazis over there? And Vigilante was like, well, it be those little subtle things. It's those little subtle things that I absolutely love in the writing. That is peak writing. Like he doesn't have to say anything. All he has, what? Do it. That is brilliant acting. It is brilliant writing. It is brilliant directing. I love it. But that scene right there, I laughed so hard. So hard. But it's stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. Tim Meadows' character probably would be my favorite, but we get more stuff from Vigilante, so he wins by quantity in that case. So I absolutely thought that was great. And I also love the fact that my man got a whole warehouse. He got a whole basement full of drugs and money. Just drugs and money. And the realism that James Gunn put in there with all the other cast, and they were sitting there, I was like, wait a minute, man, we barely been working. We working 9-to-5 jobs, at a bio. She over here trying to create a security job and all this stuff. And this man sitting on millions. And they was like, man, we gonna take some of this money right here, gonna put this in. I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, hey, Adrian, can I come to your house? I just want to come to your house every day. Every day, I just want to come to your house. I ain't gonna touch no drugs. But you definitely gonna find a shelf getting smaller and smaller. That shelf right back there, that's about to get smaller and smaller every single time. Every time I come over. Man. But yeah, that was funny. Man, this, first of all, the fact that he done sliced this man's hand, yikes. But I like this encounter. And I gotta say, I like what they did with this Augie. I like what they did with him. We'll get to that scene later. What I liked about it was you have to pay attention to the writing, and you have to pay attention to what he says. He met his counter self, right? He met the racist Ku Klux Klan, head leader version of himself. And that, I believe, made him kind of reflect on himself. Think about this. He lives in a world right now where America lost World War II, Hitler won. He lives in a world where racism runs supreme. And even in the midst of that, when he saw himself, this man was like, I can't do this. Now, he ain't super woke or nothing like that. He did say, hey, all I can do is fight the monsters, the kaijus and stuff in front of me. And that's just what I can do. Now, let me also say this, because this is obviously something that a lot of people have talked about. And it's the whole twist that happened when we found out that this whole world was, Earth X with Hitler, Nazis, and all that. And Chris was just walking around just completely oblivious. So I think you have two demonstrations. Obviously with Chris, because Chris is walking around completely oblivious to the white privilege that he has, and also with his dad. Now, let me talk about Chris first. Now, Chris is more so, he's so consumed with the idea of this world basically having the grass being greener that he is completely oblivious that there are no people of color around. Shout out to Harcourt. Harcourt came in for 2 minutes and was like, wait a minute. Not one person of color, not one. So shout out to Harcourt, right? Now, of course, the series tries to amplify Chris's stupidity by showing that big old mural of Hitler and the flags and everything. That's fine, but we're not gonna give him cover either. Okay, you walked in to an area, a world where you saw nothing but white people, and you still didn't blink. Before we get to his dad, I still want to talk about this too. Now, I unfortunately, because I was busy, I didn't have a chance to watch the series with everybody, and break it down and all that. So I had already known about the twist as I was watching this series, right? But here's my question, and I can't answer this, but I think the question is more so for you guys. Did you notice that the world Chris was in had no people of color? Not black people, but people of color. Did you notice that? Did you pick up on that? Now, again, try to be honest about this, because it's easy to say in hindsight, oh, yeah, I noticed there wasn't no brothers around. But I'm saying this is a demonstration that if you were a viewer, and I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad, but if you were a viewer that was genuinely shocked that there were no people of color or whatever, that is a byproduct of white supremacy ideology. I always talk about ideology, right? It's a mindset, it's a worldview. And people mistake white supremacy ideology as only being negative and being hateful and bigoted. That's a part of it. But the other part of white supremacy ideology is the centering and the normalization of whiteness. In other words, if you were to watch, if somebody were to just say, let's say you were watching a movie, you just walked right in and all you saw were black people, you'd be like, hey, where are they at? Are they in the inner city? Are they in Africa? Like you would start to think about that, right? If you walked in and saw something with only a bunch of Mexican or Hispanic looking people, you'd be like, yo, is this like shot in Mexico? Is this, like you would think about that, right? Or if you saw something with a bunch of Asian people, you'd be like, yo, is this like, an Asian thing or whatever? You would think about that. But if you see something with just white people, it's easy for some people to be like, oh, I don't know, maybe they're in Montana. I don't know, maybe that's just Wyoming. I don't know, maybe that's just a small little town in the outskirts of Denver, Colorado. You wouldn't think twice about where or how black people or colored people of color are. So that's one element. But the privilege, when we talk about white privilege, is the convenience of not worrying or noticing that other people that don't look like you are not around. It's comfortable. It's easy. It's smooth sailing. Now I want to move back to the dad. The dad, who James Gunn even confirmed, he's not a Nazi. He's not racist in this world. Now he is in the normal world, but in this Earth X, this version of the dad is not racist, but he's living in a world comfortably, by the way. He's rich. He's got a great looking house. He got all these, he's a superhero, all of that. And all he said was that, man, I'm just one man. I'm just doing what I can. I'm fighting these monsters, and that's it. That is an exercise of white privilege. Why? This man is not just any old man in this world, okay? Chris's dad is respected. Chris's dad has leverage in this society. Chris's dad is revered in this society. The police came to this man's door and was like, "Ooh, sorry, sir. Sorry to bother you, but sir, you think we can come in? I know we don't have a warrant, but you think we could come in?" That would never happen to a person of color, right? So the fact that he has that social cachet in this world run by whiteness, he still has the opportunity and the privilege. And I'm saying it as a privilege because that's what it is. He has the luxury not to fight. He has the luxury not to speak up. He knows what's going on is wrong. He knows what they're doing to people of color is bad, but he has the privilege and the opportunity to turn a blind eye to it and just go focus on the monsters. Because it's hard, I find it hard to believe that someone with his stature would not have the ability to sway some minds, to persuade some people that, hey, guys, I just saved that whole play. I saved the world from this monster that came from outer space. We should use that as an opportunity to remind ourselves that we're all human. We're all in this together. We don't need to be racist. We don't need to be holding up people in camps. But he chooses not to. So that to me was very telling. It was very telling that even though he shows a level of empathy, he shows a level of compassion, he does that with Chris, because Chris is another doppelganger and he has interactions and experience with doppelgangers, but he can't do that in his own society. Must be nice. Must be nice. So we also see, man, this scene right here. Can we be honest? I gotta keep it real with y'all. That last moment in episode 6, when they saw Adebayo basically run and they was like, one got out. First of all, my heart started to race. That had to be one of the scariest things. Not because of the humor in this, but because this could have been a reality for people that look like me. That's scary. I'm sorry. If you're a white person, at no point will you ever have the reality to think that you would have ever been threatened like that in this country. And I'm not saying that that's something that could happen to me right now or nothing, but the thing is, I could imagine that it could have happened to my great-grandfather or my great-great-great-grandmother because of just how they looked. So that scene, while some people might have laughed, I thought that was scary. Now, I did eventually laugh because one thing that I started thinking was like, now let me just say, I love Danielle. Danielle is great. I met her in person. She's a wonderful sweetheart. She's great, fantastic actress, great actress. When she started running, I was like, oh, they finna catch you. Girl, I'm just saying, like I'm like, girl, you in danger. You in danger. Okay. This ain't no judgment or nothing, but I'm saying you got a crowd of angry white racists running full speed. Adebayo, she about 5 foot. I was like, you got them little legs running, just them little, you know, in the cartoons. I was like, you was running full speed, and she a healthy girl. Okay, she a healthy girl. She's short and she's healthy. Okay, y'all know what I mean by healthy, right? She a healthy girl. All right. I was like, they finna catch you. They finna catch this girl. And she tried to jump a fence. I was like, oh Lord, she couldn't find like a gun like in Grand Theft Auto or something. Just up. Woo. So that scene gave me tension and pressure. That right there was a whole lot. But they shot that very well. And yeah, that definitely was scary. Scary. Love the performance here. Again by Harcourt. You know, you got the doppelgangers just being like, yo, like complete opposites. So that is a shout out to the acting, by the way. And again, just Vigilante, just if you want to give somebody a show, Vigilante might be it. If you wanted to do a definitely like a different spinoff, that might be it. Matter of fact, I might sign up for a Vigilante and a Vigilante X team up. I might be okay with this. But yeah, shout out to Judo Master. I mean, again, think about this. Judo Master would have been in them camps too. They wasn't messing with the Asians like that. Judo Master would have been in that camp right there with her. So I'm glad. First of all, why she jump in the water? Now you know you was already at a disadvantage running, and then you gonna try and swim in the water. First of all, they all could have just surrounded you. They were all dumb to jump in the water with her, but whatever, it worked out. So anyway, I like the whole confrontation. Now this was interesting. What I love about this was that, you know, as we find out that Keith finds out that Chris is the one that basically killed his real brother and all of that. What I like about this is like now you're starting to get a parallel. Now you're starting to get Keith's origin story. Now you're starting to find out how Keith basically is going to turn into what Peacemaker used to be. Right? Like I don't know, maybe he'll change his name to Destroyer, you know, or Walking Chaos, whatever. But like he might change his name to Anarchy. I don't know. But we are seeing how he is no longer going to be the same after this. And that I thought was, I love it. I love how we're getting that origin story from him. And by the way, shout out to Harcourt again, because when she was getting ready to leave, when all that drama was going down, she was like, hold up. Click, click. I can't let you leave because you gonna come back. Okay, I know how these comic book stories go. You cannot come back for Chris because you will come back. I love that she was ready to be about that action, and I was so mad when she did not get a chance to pull that trigger. I was so mad because I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, finally. We have a moment in a TV series where a character is not going to let the normal traditional thing happen, which is you leave the bad guy alive and you walk away and you just hope that all of a sudden the bad guy just won't come back. I love that First of all, Harcourt realized that y'all was in a Nazi world immediately, and she knew, do not leave the bad guy alive. Don't do it. I don't care what Chris talking about. Don't do it. Love that. The Lex Luthor thing, of course. I think this is just a setup for Man of Steel, you know, the Man of Tomorrow. What this does is it establishes that Lex still carries value, right? He carries value. He's the only one that he's smart enough to know about the multiverse, how to deal with it. He is, and you know, even in the comics, he is like one of the smartest people on the planet. And that's what makes him a great adversary for Superman. And it also makes him a great asset for the government, right? Like they need him. They need him. So yes, they're dealing with this small little threat right now. But like, listen, if a Brainiac comes to this world, you're going to need a Lex Luthor to help, and y'all gonna have to 1A, you know, with Superman and Lex together. Y'all gonna have to 1A Brainiac all day. So I like that they're creating this. I like that they've established this as being the next part for the future of the franchise. I thought that was a very smart thing to add in there. Now, there was one scene in here I couldn't add, but it was basically that scene right at the end when they started to jump his brother Keith. And I mean, they was shanking him and everything. They was like, man, forget this. Like, ching, 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 you know. And when you saw John Cena scream and say, stop, I felt that. I felt that. Everything. That felt like a pained scream that was coming from a real authentic place. That right there has to be the single moment that should solidify John Cena for an Emmy. Just that scene alone. I mean, if you think about the buildup it took to get there and for him to execute it with so much conviction and pain, that to me earns so much respect for me for John Cena as an actor. He did that. He did that. And John Cena has come a long way from rough acting. Now this guy is he found his golden goose with Peacemaker. So that scene right there was amazing. That episode was great. I mean, 6 and 7, that really made this series like really peak television right there. So now we're at the end where we have to wait and see where's this all gonna go. Does this stick the landing? This has been a great journey so far. I would say that if I were to rate this so far, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Now, this is so far, right? That 9 can easily go up to a 10, or it can go down to maybe a 7.5, depending on what happens with that final episode. But the writing, James Gunn is in his bag right now. This man is doing probably his best work with Peacemaker. And he absolutely deserves credit for that as well. The acting is on point. Just the story is great. So like I really like this. I'm enjoying this. You guys let me know on a scale from 0 to 10, episode 1 through 7. We're not at 8 yet. We're not at the finale. How are you guys rating Peacemaker so far? Where do you have it? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let me grab some of these comments here. Puma, what's going on? Props to John Cena's acting and emotional scenes. Yeah. He really killed that. He really did a good job with that. What is this? Riker, what you got? I went to a live Q&A for Good Boy in New York with the director, the producer, and the star of their dog. Such a creative film. Wasn't what I expected. That is on my list. I am trying to watch Good Boy. I've talked about it here. We watched the trailer and everything. So, it's on my list. Y'all have no idea what the stuff I have to watch and the amount of time I have to watch it is insane. And the fact that I can't like just watch anything whenever I want, like I can't go watching. Yeah, I can't say that yet. There are certain things I can't watch. I got kids, I got a family. Everybody don't want to watch horror movies or TV shows or gory things and violent. Like I can't do all that. I can't blast it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got to watch these things at night after everything, and that's if I got the time. So, but Good Boy is absolutely on my watch list, like for sure. Thank you so much. Oh, back to back, another one. The director said they filmed it alone in their house over 3 years. They got about 8 seconds of film per day. The climax, 5 minutes. Wow, took like 9 months to film. That's insane. That is insane. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I will definitely be paying more attention when I watch now for that. Thank you so much. Let's see, DJ Payne, brother, thank you so much, man. I love this show. Every character in this show is great. Never a dull moment. Character development is top notch. I even love the intro to the show. Hands down, one of my favorite shows of this year, easily. Yes, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the music. I personally think they should have kept the same song but done a different dance. Like, I like the new dance. The new dance is fine, but I would have preferred the first song with the new dance. But either way, definitely a solid intro. And you know, based off of the news we heard, I'm still like, man, James Gunn, what are you doing? What do you mean that there might not be another season 3? What are you talking about? Because here's what I need us to understand. And I just made a post about this. You know, I don't care how, and I don't care why. I don't care what the reasons are for this at all. All I know is James Gunn needs to find a way to put G.I. Robot in Earth X. I need this to happen. Again, I don't know how it happens. I don't know why it happens, but this absolutely needs to happen. This needs to be a must. I need G.I. Robot to walk through that multi-dimensional door, walk through and be like, Nazis everywhere, and y'all could just close the door right behind him, and all we hear are bullets flying. I need to see what that will look like. I want to know, can a robot feel joy? Because I feel like you might see this robot walk in and have some oil stains because he's just so excited. He's like, oh, I can't believe this. Like, Nazis everywhere. Like, I need him to just go completely insane. Please, James Gunn, if you're out there, if you're hearing this, this needs to be a must. I don't care if it's a 1 episode special. We need this. Anyway. All right, guys. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you so much. I thought it was going to be short. Dang, I guess I'll be lying, man. I'm just lying. I really thought this was going to be like a little quick day. DJ, what you got? Thank you, man. I wish James Gunn could have cameoed characters like Polka Dot Man or King Shark, and yes, G.I. Robot as well. Well, to be fair, they still can, right? We just saw Rick Flag, who died, and he just came from a different dimension. So it's possible. Well, we saw that there was a preview. If you guys watch at the end of the episode, they show you a preview for the next one. Argus is opening up all these doors. So it's very possible we'll see all of them some way, somehow. You know, especially in the Amanda Waller TV show. Don't be surprised if those characters come back in that show. Now, not Polka Dot Man, because, you know, he didn't make it. But who knows? For all we know, Amanda Waller will probably sit here and be like, hey, we're going to go through all these different universes and find even more assets, more people that we can use to do things for us. I could see Amanda Waller doing something like that. That's how I could see season 3 or season 2 ending. I could see her coming back. We're definitely going to see Keith, Peacemaker's doppelganger brother. He's definitely going to come back. He's going to be scarier. He's going to be more mad and more driven. He's going to come back. I think we'll also see Vigilante. I think Vigilante lives. Vigilante X. Now, the real Vigilante did make it through. Okay, because remember, he got shot. And as he was getting shot, the X version stayed back. So I could see X coming back. I could see them doing a reunion again. So I think that it will end on a positive note. I also think Lex Luthor is going to be let out of prison as well, because they're going to need help with the multiverse. So, you know, I don't think there'll be any big shockers. I think we will get the cameos. But like I said, I think it'll really just be Viola Davis. But I can't wait. I cannot wait. Like, I will be watching. I think it'll be great to watch it. do I have time? I don't want to promise that I'll have time to go live, but maybe we'll save it for the Friday live next week and we could talk about it. But anyway, I'm rambling. All right, guys, that's it. I'm sorry to keep you this long on a Saturday night. But you guys know the routine. Please wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.